Kirby, we'll start with you. Give me 3 things. 3 things that must happen on Saturday for Georgia to win this football game.
You got to force Jalen Milroe to make hard throws, not easy layups where it's just he can throw the ball up to a wide open Jermaine Burton. You have to force tight windows, things such as that, where he has to
make it hard.
Make it hard and tight.
No. Yes. All right, next one. You got to win. We got to win in the running game. If you outrush Bama, I don't know what the streak is, but I feel like the team that outrushes their opponent in this game usually wins. I mean, most of the time at least.
Can I do something to that stat? Isn't that normally the case in football?
For the most
because
part,
the team
yes.
winning the game is running the clock out.
Unless you're just playing a football team that is pound and ground heavy the entire time.
Unless you're playing Army
Or
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. Win the run game and win explosive plays. This is an offense in Alabama that lives and dies off of making explosive plays. If you beat Alabama at their own game, you really take the power out of their punch. So.
I was so confident in going last because I think I got 3 that none of y'all are going to pick. Hey, Christian Kirby.
Mine were pretty surface level. So.
Hey, Christian Kirby, give him 3. What do you got for me, Jay Will?
Got to capitalize on 3rd and longs because Alabama does get themselves in these situations. But and more specifically, it's not just about getting them off the field, but if you're getting them to the 3rd and long, that means you have already won that possession. Those 2 plays, you have won that possession. So you cannot give Alabama a scapegoat and let them keep marching down the field and let them pick up a first down in 3rd and long situations. You have got to capitalize on those opportunities. You have to avoid the 1 bad quarter in this football game. That's something that has bit Georgia in the butt against Alabama at times. Is they play great, even most of the time they go into halftime with a lead and they go into the 3rd quarter or something bad happens. They have 1 bad quarter, and that's what lets this game slip away sometimes. So you got to avoid that. Avoid the disastrous quarter. You can have 1 bad play, 1 bad possession, but you can't do it for an entire quarter on both sides of the football. And the last one, you got to win the field position battle. You gotta be able to flip the field. You gotta be able to pin them back more than they pin you back. And if you can do that, if you can win that field position battle, that puts you in a better position to hit your explosives. And and on the flip side as well, if they're in a better field position, that's what they're gonna look to do.
How do you usually win the field position battle? What unit does that?
Special teams.
Hey, I've actually got a fun – I know you're being a little shithead. I actually have a fun little fact about Georgia's special teams. You know they haven't allowed a single punt return yardage all year?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not a single yard. Kirby was asked
how many
about
kick return yards? I feel like it's not a lot for those.
Very
either.
few.
Very
little. That's by design too. The only returns they allow are sky kicks. They're trying to get the coverage.
Trying to
get
get
some
you
reps.
to do it.
Yeah, they're trying to gain 3 yards. Literally, they're trying to tackle you at the 22 instead of giving you the ball at the 25. That's how freaking psycho that guy is. He's out here playing around with his special teams unit to gain a 3 yard advantage. What were we talking about?
You were going to give us a fact about
the punt yardage. They haven't allowed it any. Brett Thorson got tremendous amount of hang time, but also because guys like Arian Smith and our guy Cash Jones are out there covering punts really, really well.
How about the Gunners, baby?
Yeah, how about them Gunners? All right, I got 3 things for you. I also think it's the first time in show history that the person who went last didn't have any stolen from him. So how about that? Did we give you 3?
No.
Jay Will, give him 3. All right. I got number 1 right here. I'm surprised no one said get Milroe on the ground. I'm surprised.
I felt like that was so obvious.
I feel like that was a given.
And that's so much so that I put it in here. If you don't get him on the ground, you'd better win in the red zone. Because in my opinion, if you can't get him on the ground, they're going to move the ball. All right, so they're going to get cracks at it in the red zone. And if you can't keep him contained, if his legs become a factor in this football game, they're going to get cracks at it, and you better win when they get in there, all right? Because it's going to turn into a red zone efficiency football game because that's the way it's going to be. And if you can't get them on the ground, I'm telling you right now, they're going to score points Saturday or at least have the opportunity to do so. So the only way you're going to avoid a shootout in that case is, again, to win in the red zone. I think the other thing is, I already told you, they think they can cover, but they think they can cover, they think they can pressure. If they're going to pressure you, you have got to keep 15 clean, okay? Because with the way that they have an ability to cover, you would imagine that you're not going to be open immediately, all right? So if you're not going to be open immediately, we're going to have to provide 15 sometime. And the last, and I think it's the most important key to victory in this football game for the University of Georgia in particular, you cannot make the last mistake in this football game. You cannot. All right, in the last several times these two football teams have played, the last big mistake has cost the football game for the loser. It was Keely Ringo's pick six in the national championship. It was Stetson Bennett's pick six in the SEC championship game, 2nd and 26 in overtime, obviously, and the Malcolm Mitchell play where you just have a brain fart or whatever it was in the SEC championship game. Where you don't
when
clock
Chris
the ball.
Conley caught the
Chris
tip ball.
Conley, whatever it is. You cannot make the last mistake in this football game. The last big mistake cannot be made by you. The first one doesn't lose these football games, okay? It's always the last one. And it's the last one that might happen in the third quarter. Whatever the last big momentum play is, you can't afford to make it.
Yeah, I'd say that the big momentum play in 2012 was Amari Cooper's big touchdown.
Correct. Hey, give him 3.
Love it.
We got anything we didn't hit this week? Oh, the stats, because we got a loaded show right now. There's a lot of people watching, and I want to make sure we hit on everything possible right now and maximize this thing. Do y'all have any more questions, general comments, concerns, takes about this football game? Before I know we got predictions tomorrow. We'll do the stats by the numbers tomorrow, or should we just go ahead and tease these folks with a good NBR and send them on their way? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, there's a bunch of y'all watching right now, and we have a whole nother hour of national college football content coming up right now. So not only hit that thumbs up button on your way out, not only subscribe to this channel, but please give us an opportunity to be your home for national college football conversation coming up in just a matter of minutes. Love you. We'll see you in a second.